Hello and welcome back to Farm Space. We're standing in Cullinan at LaRSSA's training day. We're going to have a chat with Klaus Kellner from the University of the Northwest about LaRSSA, about the work that was done here today and the importance of the work that was done here today. He's going to take us through all of that. Listen together with me. How's it, Klaus? Are you well?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are here standing today and we have a workshop on the use of branches, woody branches, for covering degraded land.
Well, before we jump into all of that, it's LaRSSA that's giving this workshop. Can you tell me a bit what LaRSSA does and overall, and why today's like today is so important?
LaRSSA is called the Land Rehabilitation Society of Southern Africa, and they do rehabilitation on mining areas, on rangelands, and all areas that are degraded. That is why it's important. We work on rangelands, and that's why it's important to have this workshop today, because we're looking at the rehabilitation of degraded rangelands, especially after bush control.
Bush control. That's now when they, in your opinion, let's have a look at that. What is bush control? Why is it necessary?
There are many areas in the savanna areas in southern Africa that have a higher density of bushes, which are shrubs and trees. And when farmers or land users, they don't follow the good steps to manage the veld, then the bush becomes denser. And then they...
which is a bad thing at the end of the day.
Which is a bad thing. It reduces the grazing capacity, reduces the biomass, and erodes the soil. So we are trying to rehabilitate it and looking at methods to make the environment better.
And methods like, those are methods like brushbacking that was discussed today. Can you take us through a few of those methods? Let's take brushbacking specifically and the reintroduction of seed, how that works and the effect that can have on the rehabilitation process, the positive effects that can have.
You see, we work a lot with rural communities that don't have a lot of funds and are poor. So we must get to an intervention where we can rehabilitate the degraded land, especially that have been bush encroached. And so we are looking at a very cost-effective way that they can just use the branches and pack them on the degraded area. That's why we call it brush packing.
And you just stack it on top of each other? Or what's the method behind that?
We try to implement the brush in the direction of the water flow, so that it can collect seed and that it collects sand for the grasses to grow better. But it's always better to have brush with spines on, as it will deter the animals to graze the grass that grow through the brush.
So at the end of the day, the brush packing, the reason for that is to catch water and to catch seeds that's blown away with the wind. So the seeds blow against it, it catches the water, and now it grows, but now as well the animals can't eat the newly formed shoots. But something you said in your speech as well is the creation of a microclimate. Can you elaborate a bit more on that for us?
So we like to use the word microclimate because the temperature through the brush, the temperature gets reduced and the moisture gets improved. So it is a better condition, a climate, a microclimate for the grass to grow. And we protect it by the brush for the animals not to graze it, so that the grass can grow and they can produce seed. And we do it in islands. So in other words, we don't do it the whole area that has been degraded, but we create islands so that we can create a better seed bank.
The seed bank.
For the animals. So, I mean for the other areas that are also degraded. But it's important to know that a lot of people that don't have the funds for reseeding. Reseeding, of course, is a very good intervention to use.
That's throwing seed into the veld.
Throw seeds into the degraded area, seeds that are adapted to the environment, to the climate and the soil, and then do reseeding practices before you put the brush on. because then you will enhance the growing of the grass. But if you don't have funds to do that, to buy seed, which are very expensive often, then we can just put the brush on, and you can disturb the soil a little bit, and then the grass that is there in the soil, which doesn't have the microclimate, it can then establish over time.
And as you said now, it's inexpensive to do this. Anybody can do this, and this is why today is so important to give the guys the tools to be able to do that. You've worked with quite a lot of projects as well. If you take rural areas and commercial areas, what is the time frame and the real impact this rehabilitation can have? Does it really make a difference?
It really makes a big difference to enhance the growth of grass, and it depends on the rainfall, which we cannot, we don't know how much rain it will fall. And that's why we think it must be done over the longer term, and 3 to 5 years at least. But as I said, you must have a good rainfall for that.
Yeah, and that all starts with the initial clearing. And as we can see on your hat there, Husqvarna's tools.
Yeah.
That's just one thing that can really help with that. To take down the time it takes to clear these areas with the different tools they have available.
Yeah, Husqvarna helps us a lot. They give us all the tools that we can cut the bush off, and then paint or spray the herbicide on the stumps, and then we can thereby promote the growth of grass. I mean, Husqvarna provides us with a lot of the equipment
to be able to do the job that we want to
do. The bush, to control the bush that is becoming denser and denser.
Yeah, and if we don't control the bush, the grass layer will just be degraded and degraded until we can't do anything.
I mean, it's a vicious cycle. Yeah. So if we don't control the bush, you will get less grazing capacity and less grass for the animals to graze on.
Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for today. It was very insightful, and
it is very interesting that we can promote these days. I was asking last year at the LaRSSA conference what people would like to do, and they said we want to have a workshop on brush packing. And that was the day that we are doing here today.
And we can see it was a really big success. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
And may it go well with you.
Thank you.
There you have it. Insightful, small details like brush packing that can have a huge difference financially and ecologically. Equip yourself with knowledge. Days like this, together with LaRSSA and Husqvarna, really makes a difference. If you can, get involved. If you can, arm yourself with the knowledge. This is Farm Space. Until we see each other again. Bye-bye.